Paul Pogba doping ban, the end for Juventus and France star and what should have been? Paul Pogba's career could be over after his 4-year ban for doping, with the feeling that the 30-year-old Juventus midfielder never fulfilled his potential. The former Manchester United player, who won the World Cup with France, was supremely talented and in bursts looked an absolute world beater, but he never really showed it on a consistent basis. He has already said he will appeal to the Court of Arbitration for Sport, but if that fails, by the time he will be eligible to play again, August 2027, he will be 34 and be without a club. So it will be a big ask for a player who has not managed the equivalent of 22 full league games in a season since 2018-19 to stay fit and motivated for such a long period of time. French football journalist Julien Laurens said on BBC Radio 5 Live's EuroLeague's show, "I remember seeing him as a 15-year-old and he was the best thing I've ever seen. He was so good, a generational talent, an absolute genius. He had a good career, he won 4 Serie A titles and the World Cup. It's a really good career. But he was so good that I thought there was no limit. I thought he'll get to the top, he'll win Ballons d'Or, he'll win more trophies and be the best player in the world. In the end we will always look back at his career and him probably the same way, thinking what should have been." What now for Pogba? Pogba was provisionally suspended in September after a drugs test taken after the opening game of the season found elevated levels of testosterone in his system. On Thursday, Italy's National Anti-Doping Tribunal, NATO, confirmed the 4-year suspension, which backdates to August 20, 2023 when he failed the test. Pogba said the verdict was incorrect and he would never knowingly or deliberately dope. He confirmed he will appeal and added, "When I am free of legal restrictions, the full story will become clear." Laurens said, "The story being told is he's got a friend who is a doctor in Miami that gave him some food supplements which he took not knowing what's in them, and that's what caused all of this. He could have easily said I was naive, I didn't pay attention and I should have mentioned it to Juventus medical staff and maybe the sentence would have been reduced. For him to expect less than 4 years because he said I didn't know I was taking it and hoping for the best, I find it a little naive." Italian football expert Mina Rizzucchi said, "His sentence can be reduced if an athlete can prove their doping was not intentional or their samples were contaminated, or if the player provides substantial assistance to help the investigators. So it's hinging on whether or not he can prove this was unintentional, and then there is potential we could see the ban reduced to 2 years, which may mean he could make a comeback." Laurens said, "I think 4 years does end his career. He's almost 31. You add 4 years to that. For 18 months he has barely played because of injury. So it's not just 4 years without football, it's almost 6 years. I'm not sure he would want at 35 to be ready to go again. I think this is how it will end if this ban is upheld. If it's 2 years there's a chance at 33 someone gives him one last contract." Juventus are thought to have cut his salary down to about £2,000 a month, as part of a collective agreement between clubs and the Players' Union. Pogba was earning £6.9 million a year. Juve have the option to cancel his contract, which runs until June 2026, more than a year before the 4-year ban would be over. Italian football writer James Horncastle said, "Juventus have not put out a statement. Their sporting director, when he was last asked, said they'd await the final outcome of the process. There's still an appeal to go to CA. Until that is exhausted we'll not have an official statement from Juventus on what actions they can take."